Hello, Medford Arts Center Poetry Gathering friends. This is Vince.
And Naomi.
Welcome you once again to our home and to the June 2020 Medford Arts Center Poetry Gatherings. We hope you're well. We miss you all very much. But every Friday in June, we'll be joining you with a different video. Each video will feature words from local artists, words from women across the world and across the decades, and words of impact. Each Friday, visit the Medford Arts Center webpage, or you can search for us on YouTube at Medford Arts Center Poetry Gatherings. Let's start with a gem from our archives. We're going to bring back the winner of our adult poetry contest from 2018. This is Robert Spice's The Time Master. The time weaver spins an intricate frock with threads of your life that all interlock. The time weaver hums a song as he sews, a warp and a weft that only he knows. The fate bender sets the length of a span. He fashions the glass and gathers the sand. The fate bender blends the time with the clay. The fate twister has the ultimate say. The time master turns the spring of the clock. Then he closes the door and locks the last lock. The time master keeps his thoughts to himself and carefully stores your clock on his shelf. The breath counter clicks the ins and the outs, tallies the total and never has doubts. The breath counter notes your rise and your fall. He quietly sighs, then signs in his scrawl. The soul spinner fills the span of your life with feathers of joy and prickles of strife. The soul spinner forms a fabric of light, then silently knits the blanket of night. The time shepherd flips a page in his book. He calmly observes and takes a hard look. The time shepherd scans the name on the spine, then patiently scribes the very last line. Thank you, Robert. We hope you're well.
Thank you, Robert.
Next, an artist born in Somerville, New Jersey in September of 1885. A poet and novelist from the 1920s and 1930s, Elinor Wiley was known famously for her ethereal beauty and her personality, and for her melodious, sensuous poetry. This is Elinor Wiley's Sunset on the Spire. All that I dream by day or night lives in that stream of lovely light. Here is the earth and there is the spire. This is my hearth and that is my fire. From the sun's dome I am shouted proof that this is my home and that is my roof. Here is my food and here is my drink, and I am wooed from the moon's brink. And the days go over and the nights end. Here is my lover, here is my friend. And all that I could ever ask wears that like a skin, thin gold mask. Elinor Wiley, Sunset on the Spire. Our next artist was born in December of 1927 in the Bronx, New York. Her first poem was written at the age of 7, and her first novel was written in 1975. And every other of her 50 novels became bestsellers. She was known as the Queen of Suspense. And when Mary Higgins Clark was asked the common question, when did you decide to become a writer? She wrote, the answer, of course, is that we didn't decide anything. It was decided for us. I firmly believe that mythical godmothers make appearances at our cradles and bestow their gifts. The godmother who might have blessed me with a singing voice did not show up. The goddess of dance was nowhere in sight. The chef to the angels was otherwise engaged. Only one made the journey to my cradle, and she whispered, you will be a storyteller. The words of Mary Higgins Clark, encouraging all of us to write our own stories. Next, one of our favorite artists here at the Medford Arts Center, born in June of 1892 actually, in Hillsborough, West Virginia, writer and novelist and winner of the Pulitzer Prize in 1932. This is Mary Oliver's Don't Hesitate. If you suddenly and unexpectedly feel joy, don't hesitate. Give into it. There are plenty of lives and whole towns destroyed or about to be. We are not wise and not very often kind, and much can never be redeemed. Still, life has some possibility left. Perhaps this is its way of fighting back, that sometimes something happens better than all the riches or power in the world. It could be anything, but very likely you notice it in the instant when love begins. Anyway, that's often the case. Anyway, whatever it is, don't be afraid of its plenty. Joy is not made to be a crumb. Mary Oliver. Finally, our words of impact. An artist born in June of 1961 in New York City, screenwriter, director, playwright. Aaron Sorkin graduated from Syracuse University in 1983. And in 2012, they invited Aaron Sorkin back. And this is an excerpt from his commencement speech. Decisions are made by those who show up. Don't ever forget that you're a citizen in this world. Don't ever forget that you're a citizen of this world and there are things you can do to lift the human spirit. Things that are easy. Things that are free. Things that you can do every day. Civility, respect, kindness, character. You're too good for schadenfreude. You're too good for gossip and snark. You're too good for intolerance. And since you're walking into the middle of a presidential election, it's worth mentioning that you're too good to think people who disagree with you are your enemy. Don't ever forget that a small group of thoughtful people can change the world. It's the only thing that ever has. Aaron Sorkin. And finally, the screenwriter Tom Schulman, written in 1989 and winner of the Academy Award in 1990. We don't read and write poetry because it's cute. We read and write poetry because we are members of the human race. And the human race is filled with passion. And medicine, law, business, engineering, these are noble pursuits and necessary to sustain life. But poetry, beauty, romance, love, these are what we stay alive for. This is Vince.
And Naomi.
Wishing you all well until we meet again. Good night.
Stay healthy. Good night.